Right, so today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot the shit, really. We know that there's a Wolverine game coming, but we know nothing about it outside of Wolverine's in it, and it looks like it's going to be like a western-y type thing, or the western stuff will just be the intro, and it will be like a globe-trotting adventure with Wolverine. I hope it's that. I want it to be that. But if it's just the western thing, if it's just like Red Dead but with Wolverine, I guess I'm fine with that as well. But I would rather it be like you actually go to Canada, you go to Japan, you go to these places that are synonymous with Wolverine, because he's very... outside of Old Man Logan, he's not really a cowboy western type character. He's more of a globe-trotting, like, especially when he's on his own, he's more of like, he's actually very, his character goes to Japan a lot, and he, like, is very, in that culture, like, he fights the hand a lot. He's like one of the like premier characters to go to Madripoor. There's like a lot of stuff that Wolverine just ties in with Japan and Tokyo especially really nicely, and I think those environments are really cool. And you can do a Wolverine game set in Japan that won't feel like Ghost of Tsushima, won't feel like Sekiro, won't feel like these other games that are set in Japan, because it's Wolverine. It's not like... it's like a Westerner in a Japanese environment. It's not like a... it's not like a... already samurai, or already ninja, or already like Asian character in that environment. It's an outsider going into that environment, and he won't, and it could be like his first time in Japan where he doesn't really know a lot about what's going on, or it's his like, or it's like him basically being basically a Japanese citizen. My other hope is that this is Wolverine from like Wolverine Origins, where he like as a child joins the mining company and then learns about his powers, to present day when he joins the X-Men. I don't want him to join. I don't want the X-Men to be a part of this game until maybe the end. Because you're doing Wolverine, like, you're gonna do the X-Men at some point. I feel like Insomniac are building towards that, because they're doing fucking Wolverine, and it's tying in with the Spider-Man game. So X-Men is definitely coming. I feel like X-Men, or at least Professor X, and no, it won't be Patrick Stewart, so don't get your hopes up. At least Professor X will probably show up in an after credits scene, or at the end of the game, and we'll probably see something like a Deadpool, or like a Daken at the end of the game as well. I don't think they will put Deadpool in the game. I don't think they will put someone like Daken in the game. As far as actual villains are concerned, as far as who could be the big bads, the main one is Sabretooth. Sabretooth is kind of like the big arch enemy of Wolverine, so I feel like he either has to be in this heavily, and he has to be like the big bad, or he's going to be saved for a sequel. If you're going to Japan, Silver Samurai is a perfect choice. Lady Deathstrike. the Weapon X people, like Omega Red, could be really fun. I'm not really sure about Wolverine villains. I don't think he has that many really recognizable villains. He's not like a Spider-Man where you could make like 300, and there have been 300 games that are centered around Spider-Man that you can. There's so many villains that you can milk out of that franchise. Wolverine is very. He's got Sabretooth, and that's really about it. It's because a lot of his villains tie in with the X-Men, so you can't really. I don't really want them to do X-Men villains in the Wolverine game, in the first Wolverine game, when you can save them for the X-Men game that's probably coming. So I don't want a Juggernaut to appear in this. I don't want Magneto to appear in this. I don't want the Blob to appear in this and stuff like that. They can have cameos, probably. I wouldn't mind seeing... Actually, I don't think I would mind seeing Juggernaut and the Blob appear in this. But it's another thing where I don't want this to become like an X-Men game. I want this to be strictly Wolverine on his own. And that's why I think going through the years and the decades of Wolverine going through history is more interesting than just Wolverine in this western town just doing whatever he does. I feel like it's more interesting to see him as a historic character going through the decades, because that adds to environments as well. That's different environments that Insomniac can create, and it can be more creative and more like villain variety, more boss variety. You don't really have to stick to plain Wolverine villains in this. You can kind of go into other characters as well. Like Taskmaster appeared in Spider-Man. Taskmaster isn't a primarily Spider-Man centered character, and maybe Taskmaster could be the through line through all of these. Like Taskmaster just pops up and fights everyone, so Taskmaster could pop in and fight Wolverine. Wouldn't really work if it's going through history, because Taskmaster's not an ancient character in any way. But I feel like if you're doing that, you can definitely use this game to set up a wider universe as well. Like, go to Tibet and see the Ancient One, or go to Kunlun and see the mystical dragon Xiaolao that Iron Fist has to punch. I don't know. You can do so much with this game, and Wolverine as a character opens up so many possibilities. Like, you can just do present day, and you can do all the Weapon X characters, and you can focus in on that. You can focus in on the Japan stuff. You can do a Western game, or you can go through like history, and you can go from like Elizabethan London or Elizabethan like America to, or like America, like the founding years of America, to present day as Wolverine, and go through all of those historical landmarks, leading to Wolverine losing his memory and joining fucking the X-Men. So you can do the Weapon X program in that, but it depends how long you want this game to be. How long do you want this game to be? Around 20-25 hours? So, yeah, going through history might make it a bit long, but I don't know. That's the game that I want. I want that, the globe-trotting, like, different aspects and areas of history. I want basically Wolverine Origins translated into a video game. I don't really want Wolverine Weapon X translated to a video game, because I don't like that story. I don't want this to be just Old Man Logan again, because we just had that as a film. You know, we had that 4 years ago as a film, but that is something that's very fresh on people's mind. I don't think you want to start Wolverine at the end of his story, if that makes sense. You don't really want to start at the end and then fill in the gaps as you go. I mean, you can do that, but I don't think, if you want this to be like the birth of the universe, like Spider-Man is dipping your toe in, and it's like the start of Spider-Man's little contained universe, and Wolverine kind of opens it up and expands it so much more. Like, Wolverine could touch all of these aspects of the Marvel Universe and could introduce so many things that Insomniac could do later on. Like, if they do decide to do an Insomniac Doctor Strange game or an Insomniac Iron Fist game, I don't know why I want Iron Fist as a game, but that would be cool. An Insomniac Luke Cage, Daredevil, Insomniac's X-Men. You know, I kind of want all of these areas and all of these aspects to kind of be a thing. I want this game to be probably bigger than it will be or should be. I don't think we'll go to Tibet. I don't think we'll see the Ancient One. I don't think we'll see the mystical dragon Xiaolao. I think this will be a contained thing that leads into X-Men later on. And that's all it really needs to be. All it needs to be is kind of just opening this universe a little bit more. And maybe we'll be leading into a Spider-Verse game at some point. Maybe the X-Men game will be a test in the... Maybe Spider-Man 2 will be a test into what having two playable characters will look like. And then Spider-Man 3 will be like Spider-Verse, and it's testing that team aspect of the game. Like, Spider-Man was just money in the bank. It was just, we'll get some money in the bank, we'll show people what we can do, and we'll see if people want more of this. People wanted more of this, so Miles Morales came out, and Miles Morales was a test at, can smaller characters that people don't really know as well, or only know from this one movie, or people only know about from passing, could that sell? And that sold. So Wolverine is testing, like, Wolverine is going to be a completely different game from those two. Let me just get that clear. This won't be an open world game. If it is an open world game, it will be like what's that zombie game where you're on the bike? Not Road to Hell Retribution, the other one. The bloody... I can't remember the name of it, because it was so shit, and it was kind of forgettable. But it will probably be like that, where you're using the motorbike to go around. I would prefer it to be level-based. I'd prefer it to be like Devil May Cry. If this is like Devil May Cry but Wolverine, you have my money. You have all of my money. But if this is like that, the motorbike game where you're going on the bike, going around fucking wherever, I don't think I want that. I don't want an open world game with Wolverine. I don't think that will work. I want this to be like I said, Devil May Cry, but with Wolverine. I hope we get that. I don't think that's what we're getting, but I hope we get that. Or maybe like some kind of some kind of twist on that. Like, not quite as bombastic or as loud as what Devil May Cry is, but something a bit more grounded, but still as cool as Devil May Cry. That's kind of what that's my kind of hopes and wants for just kind of an open discussion of what this Wolverine game could be, because literally all we have is the 3 claws popping out, and that could be anyone. That doesn't necessarily have to be Wolverine. Wolverine's not the only Marvel character with 3 claws popping out of his hand. So, you know, the Gambit is open. Gambit could appear in this, but there is so many possibilities with this game. It's just, don't throw all your eggs in one basket at the start. Don't throw in a shit ton of X-Men villains in the Wolverine game. Save the X-Men villains for the X-Men game. Do that over there. This is your smaller, more grounded story, if you want it to be. But yeah, that's basically it. Let me know in the comments below what you want this Wolverine game to be, what you hope it is, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.